What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? Appreciate everybody that was hanging out and waiting for us to start. I give a few people a little bit of time to get in here, wander in. Mud Rabbit, thank you for stopping in. Flocky, yeah, I'll catch up with you soon, and we'll get that show worked out and figure out what we're gonna do because yeah, I knew it was just some technical difficulties. No worries. We'll definitely get it straightened out here shortly. Um, but yeah, I got a surprise guest coming on tonight. What's up, Emily? Hope you're doing well. And hasn't been on the show in a while. So I when I talked to him earlier today and he was interested in doing it, I was like, fuck yeah. It's been a while. Like, we got some catching up to do. And me and him have probably been talking in the background for a good fucking 45 minutes. Something like that. What's going on, Denise? Mud Rabbit, welcome back. Oh, let's see. I got to get all these chats pulled up. I appreciate everybody that stopped in so far. Appreciate all the likes on the video. Let's see. I think I got everything pulled up. Hold on. Does anybody have any guesses to who the guest might be? I don't know if anybody knows yet. Because Gonzo was in here earlier and he wasn't sure. And Denise was in here earlier and she was curious. All right. Those are all queued up. All right, sweet. Well, let's see here. I'm going to pour myself a drink. I'll give our guest a second to use the restroom, check in if he needs to. We'll get the anticipation going a little bit. Maybe a drum roll for the crowd. Welcome back, Denise. I appreciate you coming back. And I just parted ways to go grab my dabs. So, before I mess up the microphone, remember, a dab will do you. Oh, Denise has got a drum roll going. I like that. Perfect. That's what we were looking for. A little drum roll, please. 5 people in the build. Thank you, guys. Appreciate you being here. God damn. Remember, just a dab will do you. Shit's like snake venom. All right, are you ready, senor? Give me a thumbs up in the background if you're ready. Otherwise, we'll keep it running. Got a salute. All right, here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, our guest for the evening.
What's going on, man? How are you?
What's going on, man? I'm doing good. I appreciate you coming on, man.
Anytime, man. Anytime.
Besides our wild conversation we just had in the background, I think we went through like at least 10 topics right off the top of the head. So let's catch everybody up that hasn't seen you lately. What you been up to? What's the new path? What you been on?
Well, what I've really been up to is, looking into myself, as well as, being there for my children, as much as possible. It's about my kids. It's not about me. It's about my children. About, I'd say, close to 7 months ago, I had what they call a complete nervous breakdown. Um, I awoke to some things that happened to me in my childhood. No, it's not conspiracy stuff. It's not any of that. It's actually factual evidence. So when you use that, you know, that word, that one word that I don't want to use and I'm not going to use, but it was done to me at a young age. And as well as that, dealing with my father's death and, having to deal with the foster care system and, just for a very long time, I allowed this stuff to not, you know, I just didn't do anything about it. I avoided it. I didn't get help. People were telling me, you need to get help. You need to get help. And I kept pushing help away. And I kept pushing help away. And it got to a point where I started, doing things that were pretty crazy. Uh, you know, uh, Causing arguments for no reason. You know, arguing with other, their children. And it was wrong. And I got off the web. I started attending a church, and when I started attending that church, whatever that evilness that was following me started to evaporate. Because I've learned that, no matter what, people are going to say and do and believe and make things up and assume things and all of that. But you know what? I've learned something, just like my trainer has taught me, just out of the conversations that we've had. Water off the duck's back. That's it. It's water off a duck's back, especially when it comes to the internet, because all it is someone else typing a message and saying something. And you know what? I've learned I can't allow that stuff to get to me. I can't allow that stuff to get to me. What I do with my life today in the here and now. Well, I started therapy not too long after I got off the web, and I really started to release, a lot of stuff that
What kind of therapy are you doing?
it's like talk therapy, but
Is it
like
with a group or like a one-on-one, or
one
what are we
on
talking about?
one on one.
Online or in person?
No, it's at a clinic.
Okay, in person.
Yeah, private.
Nice. Is it going well? Like, what do you think?
Uh,
How do you
you
feel about it?
Getting to a point where I'm starting to be able to do and deal with life on life's terms. Um, they're very proud of me in the stride that I'm taking, and the steps I've taken. And when I went through in the beginning, I was like, I'm not going to stay here. I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to do it at all. I don't need to be here. I have all the answers, but I didn't. I didn't have all the answers. And I never will have all the answers.
What's going on, little me? And you're never gonna actually have all the answers. It's being able to account for the
Acceptance.
life you've lived. Yeah, it's the acceptance, but it's also it's the acknowledgement. It's like when somebody goes through their 10 steps or whatever for alcoholism or any other kind of addiction. What it is you're trying to break a habit, and that also means like, righting all your wrongs, like doing, like, You got to get that release. Like you have to get that forgiveness. I mean, some people will never forgive, and some people, some people move on.
That's right. That's right. Yes, absolutely.
So what's this gym? Tell me about it. What's this place you've been going to? What's your plan for
Well,
going there?
start,
And
I start April 3rd. Um, I begin my classes 5 days a week, um, in the morning and in the night. So I will be biking. It's a 25-minute bike ride. Good exercise, good on the legs, get the legs stronger, you know. Um, and yeah, I start April 3rd is my day.
April 3rd, nice.
And
And what
I'm
are you joining a class the first day? Are you doing one-on-one training? Like are you doing private classes? Like what's the plan?
well, being that I have a background of being in Taekwondo, sparring, I definitely know how to spar. So my trainer's like, why don't you just jump in and spar with us a little bit? You know, I was
Mhm.
explaining to him, I need to let some frustration out. And he said, well, I expect you to be at the gym a few days a week hitting the bag, um, and giving it your all, like giving it
Yeah.
your all, like beating it to the point you're like sweaty. You're covered in sweat.
Let me give you some straight up advice. So, whatever whatever numbers you put up the first day, think about it because you're going to think about how many your arms are going to be so tired after the first day from throwing punches. What I want you to do is every time you go in after that, add one to your total. Add
Okay.
one. Like throw one more punch than you did every single practice
So if I
until your arms.
throw 11, okay.
No, no, more like you're coming in 2 to 300 numbers, and then you're going, all right, 301, all right, 302. Like those are the kind of numbers you're going to be putting up. Like especially at any like striking or martial arts gym, your arms are going to be working.
That's good.
Um,
It's a good thing.
that's another thing you can work on is if you got those curl weights, but you can do striking with weights in too, and that'll increase your speed. As long as you're doing it with good form, because they'll correct your form as soon
Yes.
as you're there.
Yeah. That's what he said. Pretty much, it's going to be breaking me in, break me in.
What's the name of the place? Shark Bait.
Yes.
I saw the logo. That place looked cool. I was talking about as soon as you sent me one of the logos. I actually showed it to the guys at my gym. Actually, here's what I'll do. I'll give you guys one of what size do you wear?
Me?
What size hoodie do you wear? Yeah.
What's that?
What size hoodie do you wear? Like a hoodie? Like that
Oh,
thing you have on right now? What size
medium.
do you wear?
Medium. I
Like a
couldn't
medium?
hear you.
No, no, you're good. I'll send you a black hoodie from our gym. You gotta get one from yours once you start up.
Absolutely.
And you guys send it my way.
Oh,
I
yeah.
want a shark bait. I want a shark bait hoodie. I'm all about that. I like small gyms.
Yeah.
And be careful going into a small gym and just jumping into sparring with people. Some motherfuckers don't know how to spar.
No,
Some
I
gyms are
know.
wild.
Then it
They'll
gets
throw
out
down.
and then it gets out of hand, and you're like, all right, when I get that first opening, I'm going right for that. I'm going right in.
Oh yeah. Well, no, it's all right. So what it is when you go in and you're sparring with other people, whatever energy they're hitting me with, that's the energy I'm gonna give them or
Right.
less.
Right.
Like, um, that's something weird that I do with everybody is
Oh,
I'll put my foot right next to somebody's head, but I'll stop and I won't fucking hit them. I've never knocked like I don't think gyms should ever knock. Nobody should ever be getting knocked out in a gym. There's no reason for it. There's absolutely no reason for it
no
because
dog,
that's just
no dog ass. Tank
Oh
Davis,
yeah.
Tank
Well, it's
Davis
like
wearing on Devin Haney, man. Tank Davis was wearing on Devin Haney. He was
I feel like
wearing
the worst thing a gym could do though is like if you're
and
teaching
put
any kind of kids, you could get fucking if you're promoting that you could get knocked out in the gym. That's just like brain
yeah,
damage. I'm not trying to put on anybody.
get knocked out in the gym.
We've only had one person get choked out in the time that we've been open. We've been open for 3 years. One person got choked out because they didn't tap out for some reason, and we were like, "Why didn't you tap out?" But they came right to afterwards. But for some reason, they decided not to tap out. They had their hands inside of a choke on somebody's arm, and then they still got tapped out. Gonzo says, "How you doing, Rock?"
I'm doing beautiful. I'm doing beautiful. You know, one day at a time. That's it. One day
So
at
how
a.
long? So how long have you been following this Ryan Garcia guy?
Well, that's what I'm going to get to. Is it's funny because like a lot of this stuff is calculated. He came in on a white horse at his last press conference. At his last press conference, he didn't say anything really to Devin. He just like stared him up, stared him down, and stared, the father who's a pimp. He wrote a book about it. I'm not sure the name, nor do I care. All I care about is 420. Ryan Garcia rocks, Devin Haney's 420 pack. That's all I care about.
What are both their records coming into it?
Not
What's Haney? Has Haney had any other good fights or no?
Devin he's like basically he's world champ now. He's like up there. He's up there. He's like this is for world championship.
Oh, okay.
This is a big fight. That's why a lot of people do not want it to happen.
Well, no. I just felt like I've only heard you talk shame on Haney, so I gotta ask, like, what kind of pedigree does the guy got? He is a world champion.
Haney is no good, and Ryan don't like him, and Ryan shoved him at an event, and said on a podcast, "I don't want him hitting my effing phone up." He said, "He's not my friend. You're not my friend." Ryan has caught on to what the industry is doing, is how they're using people and trying to make money off people. You understand? And that's all that is. Devin Haney can't talk for himself. His daddy's got to talk for him. Oh, my son's victorious. He's going to win this fight. Oh, yeah? When Brian hits him with a left hook and busts his temple and his head rattles this time, Ryan ain't no little boy anymore, Devin.
Ryan, I noticed that's actually really popular in boxing. People's dads always
they went at it. They went. His dad, Brian's dad, even said at the press conference, "Don King, sit down, Don King." To Devin Haney's dad, because Devin Haney's dad was being disrespectful to the parents, to the family. Devin Haney.
They're trying to sell the fight. They're trying to sell a fight.
No, it's a real beef. They have a real beef. It's no lie. Security had to break it up badly, man. It was a bad situation.
But no, I'm just saying, like, if they thought that shit was gonna happen, they would have had them out of the building. And if they were worried about it, it's like when Dana White, when Conor actually had a beef with Khabib, and he threw that fucking thing through the window of the bus. Dana was like, I'm not gonna promote this. This is like the worst thing that ever happened. And then all of a sudden, fucking, he's promoting it and using it to sell the fight.
Ryan and Devin go back to childhood. Okay? They go back to childhood. They were 3-3.
I heard something about this today too, Gonzo. About so this is where I think it's bullshit. Where I think it's bullshit is so on the, at the Oscars. At the Oscars, they had him stand naked with the envelope in front of his penis, and that was the only thing that he had on. I assume he had on something just in case of a wardrobe malfunction or something. But if that's the way the Illuminati is shaming people, you're not going to shame John Cena, who he wears little more when he performs. Like, what are you guys talking about? He always got his shirt off. Like, I don't think you're gonna embarrass a guy that looks like fucking Zeus. I don't think that's the way that they're bringing people into the Illuminati. I feel like it would have been something a lot deeper than that.
Okay, well, see, Ryan built a huge social media platform. Oscar is feeding that kid drugs. Yo, you guys need to go look at the real pictures of Ryan Garcia. Y'all sleep on him.
So
And
I've
people,
seen his fights. He's a good fighter. I've seen his fights. He's a good
that
fighter.
dude's body
But
is
what I was trying to figure out, but what I was trying to figure out is I was trying to talk to you about the same thing. Was I don't understand the handlers that he's got around him. Every fucking live, he's got like fucking hooded people around him and shit, like Ryan does.
Dude, he does.
And they're like, yeah, it's
He
weird.
does. They have actual evidence. There are more shows that weren't believing him in the beginning that are now believing him.
Yeah.
That are now believing him. Okay?
Oh, there's a lot of people that believe him.
It goes like this, right? Everybody's like, oh, Ryan's on drugs. As soon as he popped on camera and started talking about save our children, everything went the other way. And the Vatican and BB and all of that stuff, and how Ryan said, no, I'm not talking to you. I'm not talking to you. I have nothing, to say to you. No. What you're doing.
Do you remember the joke? Do you remember the weird joke I made to you yesterday about this topic? I was like, what is it with everybody accusing all these popular Ryans of being on drugs? And then it turns out they're not on drugs at all, and everybody's just fucking
Not on drugs.
on drugs. Ryan Garcia is not really on drugs, and everybody's trying to act like they're all fucking.
I'm going to
crazy.
show you a really nice picture of him right now.
What are you showing me a picture of?
Of what Ryan looks like right now.
Oh, I've seen him. Yeah.
He's bulky, boys. He is bulky.
Well, he's got a really wide spread his shoulders.
For where
no, I'm just saying it adds to his reach. Like it's a good build.
Yeah.
For boxing.
Devin Haney doesn't really have that kind. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. He might have a little bit of a far reach, but I don't believe.
They froze his bank accounts.
No, that's not. I don't know why you think that. I don't know why you think that, man.
Where did you hear that from?
Floyd Mayweather, Floyd Mayweather Sr. has even come out and said that Bohemian Grove is real. Okay, is real.
I don't trust the fucking Mayweathers. Did I tell you how much I don't trust the
Well,
Mayweathers?
Well, he doesn't like Bill Haney because Bill Haney is starting on him too.
Oh.
Okay, and Bill Haney is elite, and Bill Haney has done something to Ryan and pissed Ryan off. And Ryan is going to expose it. After this boxing match, like Ryan said, it's all on, you know what I mean? Like, I'm going to start, I don't care anymore. The truth needs to be heard.
Well, and regardless, it's a boxing fight. I just want Ryan to go out there and piece him up if he's actually better at boxing, Oh,
he is. He is. But their history dates back to childhood.
I mean, that's how you prove it. You go out and prove it in the ring. Doesn't matter all this talking on the sides. And
420, that's it. Hey, I have a funny feeling. I see it coming. Ryan is going to be ready to whoop Devin Haney that night. That's it. That's it. And Tank Davis warned Devin Haney. He said, Ryan has hard punches. One left hook to the side of your head is a busted temple. He said,
We'll do a fight commentary on it. Me and you can watch it.
I'm telling you right now, that's what Ryan said to him. I'm going to knock you the F out. You better hope you wake up. He said it like that. His animosity towards Devin is he does not like Devin, man. He does not like him.
That doesn't. So Lil Me just sent that video clip through. That doesn't sound like what you're saying it is, though. That sounds like somebody froze all of his accounts, not his
Look
like
at where
gambling
he's
stuff.
sitting. Look at where he's sitting. Look at where he's sitting.
And he's got people around him. Yeah, I've seen this video.
Dude, I don't think you understand, man. Do you really know like what the elite, man? The elite, when Ryan said it, he had to have a meeting.
Hey, Rocco, take it easy, man. Take it easy.
We'll
get it across.
Right. Yeah, no, but what was there was another thing that happened, I believe, with Ryan too. Something with demons, and he's dealing with the demons. Like, he's really dealing with some serious stuff. And when you say that R word happened to you at a young age, and people are making fun of you and saying you're trying to sell tickets by using that as a, I make this up. No.
Rumor another wrestler caught Cena practicing devil worship stuff.
Oh, gosh.
Cena's weird. And then he apologized to China for saying that a country existed. Like, Cena's always been on some weird shit. Like, he needs to just stay out of the media. Like, if you don't hear more about Cena, that'd be good.
The Diddy parties. Oh, did you see did ask Little Me if he saw the picture of P. Diddy and Devin Haney in the pool at the P. Diddy party?
Oh, at the Nelk Boys. Dude, the Nelk Boys are hard gamblers. They probably know a lot of gamblers. The Nelk Boys are actually probably some of the hardest groups of gamblers. When they go to, like, them and like Dana White.
Look, Ryan has made Fox News.
That Diddy stuff was wild, though.
Right. Ryan has made Fox News. Ryan is making some serious outlets. Some serious outlets. And he's not afraid. He said, if they nail me to a cross and sacrifice me, then it's God's will. That's what he said. I am doing this for the children. I am doing this for the children.
So that's what I was saying, Gonzo. That's what I was saying to Gonzo was I don't understand how that would be a humiliation ritual. John Cena standing naked, like I don't understand how that is humiliating. The guy looks like Zeus. Like, why are we having an argument about that? Like, I feel like if it was a humiliation ritual, it would have been done with something that would have to humiliate him. And that would have been done behind the scenes. Something that would have personally humiliated him. But I do think those kind of rituals happen, but I just don't think that's how they would have done it. Especially if you're talking about these really higher ups.
This is happening in the Hamptons at P. Diddy's expensive mansions. I know it for a fact. I grew up on Long Island.
Everybody's been talking about P. Diddy's been diddling fucking people forever.
But
there's footage of him with fucking Usher.
Finally, it's surfacing to a higher level where he's gonna pay. I hope he pays. I hope he pays.
He will. That's exactly what's gonna happen. He's gonna pay and then he's gonna get away.
No, not pay. Like I hope he pays in a jail cell.
I'm just saying, at what, like, I don't even know what it would be like. So you think he should get an executive prison for the rest of it? Like, he's not going to get treated like a regular person. That's the thing. Like, the man's got so much money. He's not going to get treated like a regular person, or he's going to, like, not Epstein himself, or, it's going to be some weird shit. Like, it's not going to go down like we want it to.
This is so sad because it's like the thing with the kids, right? It's like they're being trafficked all over. They're being trafficked out of the country. And you know who's involved? you know what?
Our government.
Amen. Garbage. It's sad. It's not difficult to see this stuff is happening all over the place. Well, see, and Gonzo, I just want to clarify one thing. I'm not jumping from one thing to another thing to another thing. I said to myself, I'm looking for a healthy outlet. You know, my grandfather was 53 fights, 2 losses, a straight knockout, non-professional, 3-time Golden Glove boxer out of I believe it was Waco, Texas. Um, so my grandfather said it to me growing up, and instead of taking his advice and getting into it, I got into martial arts eventually, and I was doing really good, and then I just lost it again. Something happened to me, that R word, by somebody that was, he was a year older than me, but it really does not matter. It was taking advantage of me. Um, and I was threatened if I say a word, they're going to call the cops and call me crazy. And at that time, because I was, keep in mind, only 10 years old, and I got involved in martial arts when I was 7. So when I got a little bit older, my grandfather started to say, you should get into boxing. Whatever, he's showing me pictures of him with his belt and, and, I'm not really just doing this for myself. I'm doing this to make my grandfather smile as well. I did a lot of hateful things, um, you know, in the past. And that's all I'm going to say on that. I'm not going to get into details because details don't matter. All that matters is I see my wrongs. I see what I see in the mirror. And I like who I see today. But the person I was about 7 months ago was a disgusting person, was a hateful person. Hated myself. I hated myself. I was a selfish.
Let me catch up the chat real quick, Rocco. He said, Mother said this just trickles. You guys should brace yourselves because the shit that is going to come out over the summer is going to freak people out. And then Gonzo said, when you sell your soul, it will collect sooner or later. I do. The resident said Mud Rabbit. Lumi said Haney KO round 7. Mud Rabbit, you and I think alike.
Yeah, I understand exactly what you're talking about. And the video starts with a J. Just look up Ryan. Ryan spoke about it a little bit.
And then Little Me was asking, he said, your grandfather was 3-time Golden Glove. What years? And then he asked what weight.
My grandfather, I don't know all the full details. You see, that's what I'm saying. 1 second. Somebody's
all right, you're good. You're good, man. No worries. I'll drop you down. Just wave it back to me. I appreciate everybody tuning in. I'm trying to get to all the questions.
So what were we? Oh yeah. So definitely, yeah. I can't wait till this summer. This summer, everything is calculated correctly. There's a lot of weird stuff taking place. A lot of weird stuff.
Oh, later, little me. Have a good one. Yeah, I think it's for some reason everybody's giving me like April. I'm not sure why. I've
Uh,
talked to a lot of different people about this, but April seems to be
well,
that time.
420 is when the Haney fight happens with Garcia. Thank you. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Oh, I know. I know it's more fun because when you know the truth and people are just sitting there saying, you don't know nothing, it's like you're crazy, you belong in a psych ward, and Ryan Garcia sitting there all bulked up, walking in, buying a last Audi. You know what I mean? That has gas. That's going to be gasoline, and he drops the top and drives off. Like, why? Bossman says, "Is Rocco willing to fight?" Oh my God. No, I'm not going to answer to that.
No, I wanted to answer it. That's why I put it up. I wanted to answer it. It wasn't for you. That was for me. I just had to finish my bong hit. I thought you were going to finish your story. So, after meeting Granny, Rocco would beat the dog shit out of Granny. I can 100% guarantee you guys that. I've met Granny. That wouldn't go well for Granny. I'm sorry. I couldn't sanction that fight. Granny's not in fighting shape in any way, shape, or form.
Jacob, is this what you're talking about?
Yeah. And then we're going to turn your hand down when you're throwing them? Yeah. And it's not too far across your body. Straight ahead.
Yeah.
Shortest distance to an object. Straight line. The farther you're swinging out, the easier it is to block.
Yeah, so if you're close.
Yeah. I'm taking odds, Mud Rabbit says. I'm telling you, that wouldn't be a fair fight. Rocco's in way better shape.
No, and you know what? That just got Christ, something on, and thank you, Jesus. That's all I got to say, because the old me, when that show was being played, I feel like Granny kind of really went a little too far with me. And honestly, that night,
I get it. He can be a jackass.
That night, I really, if I would have been in front of him, I wouldn't have said nothing. I wouldn't have said 2 words.
Bossman had a fight set up with Granny.
Today, I don't do that. Today, I don't do that. I don't hurt people just because. I don't do it.
You don't do that. If you're actually in martial arts, you won't have any need to.
When my family gets brought into something, that's when there is problems. And I'm looking dead straight in the camera. I am not messed up on methamphetamines. I'm not on any kind of drugs. What drug I'm on is getting into MMA and getting addicted. That's what it is. Because it's going to be my outlet for all that anger, all that trauma in my body, all that frustration, all that not wanting to accept. But when you come in with that really good knockout and you knock somebody out in that cage, I can already tell it's going to be a fun experience. I've had my head.
You don't ever want to knock out your training partners, right?
Yeah.
Only
Oh,
people
that's
in the
another
cage that
thing.
you're
Yeah,
facing.
talking about training partners. Yeah,
Yeah, you don't
I'll
you don't
have.
want to ever hurt your training partners. Otherwise, you
Oh
got nobody to train with.
no. I'll have respect for my training partner because when I go to the bout like this, and I walk up and I say, "I'm gonna beat your fucking ass." That's how I'm gonna talk to people. I can't wait to knock you the fuck out, and then I'm gonna give them a good like that, and then I want to
Well,
say,
my check.
"Yeah, man, hell yeah, man, that's what it's about." Put on that show. You know what I mean? But
Granny's always on some goofy shit. Bunny Rabbit, you're right. Granny would show up in like a fairy costume or some shit, and then try not to fight
you know
because
what? I
he
feel
knows he can't fight.
Granny is a good guy at times, but as soon as he gets something in him, but then
Oh no, it's what
criticize.
he plays a character. He plays a character. He as soon as the camera's on, that's when he's like, "Oh, I got to put on this show." That's why I said when I met him, he wouldn't fight me. Like I couldn't have paid him to fight me. It would have ended very badly. He's
So
a feeble man.
what? So you went for one day there?
Oh yeah, me and him went and we ended up playing frisbee and hanging out.
That's cool,
Like
man.
I said, he's a nice guy. He's a nice guy.
Right. Exactly.
He just plays a character online.
There's a lot, but see, with me, it's like today. No, I don't. That wouldn't be me. You know what I mean? It wouldn't be me.
No, I know.
I don't want to hurt somebody. You know what I mean? Because of my own pain.
Well, and that was the same with me. Like I would never just go up and punch.
But I'm going to tell you this.
I knew I could have. I could have really hurt Granny if I wanted to. There was no reason to though.
Of course.
Like once I realized,
there's no reason. Sometimes people just like say things, but like, and that's what I'm learning is I'm learning, tolerance, and my opponent that's supposed to happen next year, who my trainer and my partner that I'm going to be working with wants to get me ready for. And he says, I want you to go in there with the he said, when you do the bout, he says, I want you wearing a sweatsuit. I want you wearing the hat. I want you wearing it all. And I want you to get right up in his grill and be like, what's up? And he says, I want you to, like my guy's like that. He wants competition. He told me, I want you to promote me if you can. He said, promote the hell out of my stuff. And I said, okay. Okay. No problem. And it's a really clean environment. It's a really clean environment. Yes.
Clowning on Granny again. He said, Granny isn't just a fairy. He's also a switch hitter that has some sugar in his gas tank. Yeah, we both know that Granny likes to play both sides of the field. Got to keep an eye on that guy. That's why when we were playing frisbee, he was always walking in front of me. It's easier, safer.
I'm surprised Andre.
You don't want him behind you.
Surprised Andre hasn't said anything.
Yeah, Andre's. Like I told you, I think it's something happened with his phone or something, or his computer. And so he's only been able to go on his gaming system to go online, so he can't really type. Yeah, it's been a pain in the butt for him, but it happened like a couple weeks ago.
So, okay, let's get into Bohemian Grove a little bit.
I'm down.
What do you feel about it? To be honest,
I feel my honest interpretation of somebody who like really dove into this topic. I don't think we've learned anything new about Bohemian Grove. Yeah. No, I definitely did. I've seen videos of Alex Jones there. There's 2 YouTubers that have gone there and done 2-part series when they've been there.
Yes.
There's only 2 people that have been there during rituals. And that was Alex
History
Jones and
Channel,
one of the
History Channel got arrested for trying to go there and do a History Channel they arrested.
Yeah, I mean they're not letting anybody in without clearance. You got to sneak in. That's the only way you're getting it.
I can't believe that guy made it, man.
Well, they said the same thing about Alex Jones. Alex Jones just walked right in. He's the first one to do it. Like
I know, but I went in with the people. I mean, I want to comb through stuff. Like he was combing through stuff in that video. And I guess they found something that went back to 1937, some document or something. And they're all over the world. They're called hideaway camps. We found shirts in there, like staff shirts or whatever, or, you know, the club shirts, hideaway camp. And there's an owl in every cabin, and there's so many things. And there's like a saying with the owl. Dude, it is freaking ritual.
Okay, so to catch everybody else up, if you know anything about Bohemian Grove, the owl is Moloch, and they do these sacrificing rituals where they do. It's usually children, and it's usually like I think it's a virgin sacrifice, and it dates back to like it's actually a convoluted mixture of a lot of old things put together. I actually listened to a couple people trying to figure out the mythology of it. There's not an actual steady mythology line for it because they just kind of combined a bunch of ideas. But it started out as this thing for artists as a retreat out in the redwoods. And then it turned into something way different because it got taken over by elites because they thought it was like the cool thing to do. And at the time it was when the artists were there, but the artists got slowly moved out of the whole thing or they got turned into part of the display.
Yeah, but they still go there and hang out and eat.
Oh no, now the elites are doing way different things there. They're still doing the same rituals, but the artists aren't going there anymore. They can't afford to be there because they got priced out of it when the elites took it over. That's what happened is they changed the enrollment fees, and the artists that were originally there, they weren't doing it for money. So they were artists. They weren't making a lot of money.
It's a lot of money now,
the fees, and they got worked out.
A lot of money now. Now here I'm going to ask you the question about Ryan and what he talks about when it comes to Bohemian Grove and so on and so forth. And my biggest thing is why is Floyd even saying this stuff? If he's a money man, why would he, put his neck out there like that about Bill Haney being involved, the father of Devin Haney? This is why I say this is a big fight. Ryan and Devin Haney go back to basic, like kids. They were cool. But the dad said on the stage, he said, my kid was just a kid, you were bringing girls around my son. It got ugly, my man. He said a toupee on his head. It's not fake beef.
It's not that it is fake beef. I just don't know why
Bill
that matters with
Bill Haney's trying to be a little friendly now, too. He got it on some podcast and said, oh, Ryan, he's a really good fighter. And, you're sucking up to Ryan now because he's about to drop a tweet on you, guaranteed, if you keep running your mouth. He already dropped the Tank video. That goes to show you he's got Floyd close, but at a distance. You understand? Ryan is a chess player. He was not put in this game for no reason.
What up, Spencer?
Ryan is going. I guarantee. I pray he wins. I do. I really do. Because you know what? He fought Luke Campbell basically crippled. He still wasn't mentally correct. He still was going through certain things. You know what I mean? Like it was heavy, and he beat him.
Well, and just having people around you calling you crazy all the time, especially in the media, You know how much that would fuck with anybody's mind? Like you'd question yourself
And
every
then
once in a
he
while. Like,
starts dropping
am I
real
fucking crazy?
things. And then it's like it forces his hand to say, you know what? Okay, I'm going to drop the real tweet. You know what I mean?
You know what we haven't? You know what we haven't talked about? So what did you think of? What did you think of all the Cat Williams stuff? The big drop of Cat Williams and the tie-in with all that. What do
I
you think?
really didn't follow it much, but I'm going to start following it and I'm going to start looking into it more because honestly, I used to just flipping back and forth. Cat Williams is pretty funny. So
Okay, so he's hilarious, but he's the biggest truth teller in
yeah,
comedy.
yeah.
And
Oh, yeah.
he was talking about these elite parties a long time ago, and he was calling
Yeah,
out
but
Michael
nobody
Jackson,
wanted
and
to
he was
hear it.
calling out. Oh yeah,
But
no, but he was one of the biggest comedy geniuses ever. So at the same time, they still had to hear it. It was still in his set. So like they
right,
get the
right.
parts of the set that they liked, but at the same time, he would still do that Michael Jackson joke at the end, or that P Diddy joke, or whatever. And now he's talking about he told everybody 10 years ago that this P Diddy shit was going down, and now that it's going down, he dropped something at the beginning of 2024, and he was like he did a podcast, and
Right,
it's one of the
right.
most viewed podcasts on YouTube right now, and
Wow.
he
Wow.
was hinting at he was hinting at this a long time ago, and
It,
now that it's all
it's
unfolding,
it's like
everybody's tying
so
it to
crazy.
this year.
It's like so crazy. This time around on YouTube, that video I hashtagged, and all of a sudden, the context came up about that place, Bohemian
Yeah.
Grove. And you know what? I will say that yes, this happens on Long Island, New York, quite a bit. Rituals are well known, in New York as well.
Before we get too far away from that, let's do you know who just did a podcast with Joe Rogan recently besides Cat Williams?
I don't really follow Joe Rogan. I've been
Okay, but
following
he did a podcast with
people.
Kid Rock.
Oh wow.
Uh, yeah, and
Okay,
Kid
okay. Yeah,
Rock.
I heard something about Kid Rock. Yeah, I did hear something about. I didn't get to watch it because I've been caught up in. First of all, shout out to Ryan Upchurch. You're definitely not on drugs. You're woke.
No,
Um,
no, no. I gotta feed you this tie-in. You need all of this. So what I was gonna talk about is Kid Rock brought up Bohemian Grove. It was like the first time anybody was talking about it in a while. Kid Rock brought it up on Joe Rogan, so
yeah,
everybody would hear it.
yep,
That's what I'm saying. You got to go check that one out when you get a chance. He
yep.
talks about it for a good
Everybody's
5 minutes.
dropping it. Everybody's dropping it
Yeah.
because guess what? In that video, funny thing is you know what? The last document that they found was 2023 that they were there and pictures and everything.
Oh yeah, they do it yearly.
Yeah, no, but there were
Yeah.
missing years, you understand? So there were
Oh, I got what you're saying. That's the
you,
last up to date
like,
document they had.
right.
Gotcha.
And he was going over names and he said some of the names, but some of the names he just didn't want to say because he knew that right there would get him, in a lot of trouble.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't be. So I saw a general or somebody in the military's photo there too.
Well, and the invite list is a lot different than the attendee list. A lot of people get invited, and a lot of people don't go. Like Nixon got invited several
Yeah,
years in the woods, and
yep.
he's notorious for saying something about he didn't want to do all that like queer stuff with the naked guys in the woods or something like that. It was something weird. It was something really weird, but it was in Nixon voice. I don't want to hang out with the queers, or something. It was something really
Good.
bad. I don't know.
But it's like, okay, so we have all these kids and they're all over the world, man. It's crazy. It's
But it's
nuts.
just wild that why is it to a boiling point now that everything that everybody's been talking about for the last 20 years is all coming to fruition this year in 2024? What's the significance?
Well,
Why does everybody have this boiling point of it? Like I keep getting April
dreams. I myself, like I told I don't, I'm not going to say his name, but I told somebody that the Chiefs were going to win this year. And he didn't believe me, and it happened. And then some crazy shooting happened here in Missouri at the parade.
Oh, did it?
Oh, it was horrible. They had to shut the parade down. And I warned my best friend to stay away from that place.
I was gonna say Kansas City always parties like that in a victory or a loss. Trump just fired the entire RNC.
Oh no! Oh my God, Trump! Trump
ain't playing no games.
No, he ain't. Trump. He's even got gold sneakers out. I like Trump. The more and more, it's like I'm noticing. Okay, so all right, now here's the funny thing when it comes to the elite, right? Ryan did make a point, and I kind of made sense of this in my own head. I sat there and thought about it. Is they're trying to make him look so crazy that they feel that he needs psychological help because he was taken to a party. He was messing around, hanging out with the rappers, hanging out with a lot of people in LA prior to his press conference or after his press conference. He was hanging out with these people. Okay. He shot right to like LA or he just stayed there and partied. And he might have went to a party and they might have said this, this, and this. And if he would have sold his soul, that's it. You know what I mean? He would be in the club. And he said no.
I mean,
follow Jesus.
That's usually how it works. They pitch it to him at parties.
So now that's what made him flip out, because he did say something in one of his tweets about something and putting his what, and he drank it and he lost his mind or something. And I believe in that too. I really do. The more they can enhance the crazy behavior to try to make you look like you're just a straight up nut job. But in real actuality, you really believe it, but everybody around you is like, no, that dude, you need to get help. You need to get help. No, you need help. No, I don't need help. If Ryan becomes the world champ, he's worth a lot of money. He's worth a bag. Let's just say 100. You know what?
Oh, yeah. He's definitely got, any world champ is. Have a good night, Mud Rabbit.
It was good seeing you. Hope you're well.
Yeah. We'll probably wrap up pretty soon, actually. We'll probably do it right around the 1 hour mark or something like that. That way we can tease people with another show. It gives everybody nice. We had a nice long show. Got to cover a lot of topics, and then if anybody's got topics they want us to go over next time, we can maybe get them in the chat or something, and we can set up another show. We'll go a little bit over an hour, but just give everybody the good nights and the goodbyes. I appreciate everybody that's been here too. We had quite a few people in tonight. It was a good conversation.
Yeah, I hope we definitely get to, watch that fight.
Oh yeah, I want to do one. So that's what I was talking about. The two heavyweights that are fighting this weekend are Tai Tuivasa, and he's the one that does the shoeies all the time. He always drinks out of his shoe. I don't know if you've ever seen the ads.
No,
All the guys pour beer into his
I see
shoe,
a lot
but
of
he's
Dana
like,
though. I see a lot of that Dana though.
oh
Um,
yeah,
I
yeah.
really think Dana made a real serious amount of money this weekend.
You know who the three smartest minds in business are of men, like that provide entertainment? I think it's Dana White. I think it is Donald Trump, and I think it's Vince McMahon. When they were all those three were in their prime, they were all really good friends. They were elites together. That now, like the WWF and the UFC, are owned by the same company. And Trump used to always show up at WWF events.
Oh,
Trump
he
goes
was
to all the UFC
out.
events.
Yeah, he was out
Yeah,
on Kelly's
yeah, he
fight.
loves the UFC. He always liked Dana.
Yeah, yeah. So he probably donated a lot of money to UFC, um, and probably still does. Um,
Yeah.
I mean, it honestly to sit there and wait after you see these bouts. That's what I mean. It's like you want to hype the crowd because then more tickets. You know what I mean? So, but if you really get into a serious beat with somebody and you're climbing the ladder and you're at a point where it's either you or you start thinking. And now Devin Haney
You know
has
what I mean? No, if it's an actual fight, you can't get into that mental space of this really means something. Like the personal shit, it should still be just a fight. You can't get clouded by that. That's the whole reason people
no,
talk
I
shit. You know what I mean?
understand that. I just think that Devin is being handled some type of way. Um,
Yeah.
and it's kind of like I did say something, and somebody said on another show, they one of the guys who took my video, and said something about I can't remember what it was, but it was stupid. It was just downright dumb.
What happened? What guy took it? What are we talking about?
That's what I mean. It's like it was so dumb. Like
Oh,
it was a dumb thing.
gotcha.
It was just trying to poke at me, basically. You know.
Oh yeah. Hey, Flocky, no worries. I answered your message when you messaged on this live. No worries, man. We'll reach out. We'll set up another time. It's no worries. Not an issue at all. He was the one who was supposed to be doing a show with me before, and had a bunch of technical stuff going on right
I
before the
hate.
show. So
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
he
I
had
hate.
just reset his audio and his video, and he said it went out on him right before.
I really hate when that happens.
Yeah.
So Dana, yeah. So what do you think? Sugar is gonna fight? Do you believe?
I mean,
You believe he's gonna?
he's got another one. I think he's going to be sitting for a little while. He's not. He doesn't have anything lined up anytime soon. That was
He's
kind of a
he's got a heel.
well.
I
He's got a heel, but and same with Ryan. If Ryan's about to go into a fight, unless he comes in unscathed, I mean he's got a heel, but he's not gonna. He's not. He didn't get hurt that much. He he barely got hit in that whole fight. He put on quite a clinical last weekend. He probably at least doubled the amount of strikes thrown and landed, and the accuracy rate of him was over 85%
wow.
for shots thrown, which is insane.
Yeah, it's interesting how they get on each other and start beating. Like
Yeah.
they just start railing each
Well, and
other.
he doesn't do that's the wild thing is the guy he was fighting slipped 3 different times, and he was like, "No, stand back up." He goes, "I'm not going like that." He's like, "I'm not gonna jump on you and just start beating you up." Good. I'm gonna knock you out standing up. That's why you said it sounded like he was talking shit after the fight when he was like, I wanted to knock him out. That's why
Yeah,
he kept saying, stand back up. Like I'm not gonna beat you up on the ground. Get up here. We're gonna box it out.
I don't know if it's like some people get this fear or I, I don't know what it is. There is that sometimes that anxiety I feel too. Right before I don't know if you've ever witnessed that yourself before you went into a fight or I don't know how many fights you fought.
I've had four. I I don't feel comfortable if I don't get butterflies before any event. It's the same in wrestling. Like I think that's healthy. You should be nervous going into anything
Right,
because
right,
that's
right.
something that you should
Then
never
you
be
get more
overconfident.
right. It kind of
Yeah,
jerks you into
I
play.
don't
Like
ever want to feel like something's going to be easy
right,
because
right,
then I don't push myself the same way.
right. Now, what do you feel about the not the water and that situation, the
What do you
clauses,
mean?
like on the contracts and stuff,
The water on the contract? What do you mean?
like no drinking water, dehydration clause.
Oh, oh, I mean, those are always weird. I always think the fighters have to go into the fight hydrated because you're more susceptible to being knocked out when you're dehydrated. Your
What I
body's fucking
always thought, and I'm I'm thinking to myself like, and Sean O'Malley gets pissed when he is dehydrated
oh yeah,
because
everybody does.
really messes with your head. Like
Yeah,
I
and you're
think
more
uh,
susceptible to knockouts. You don't want to go into any kind of a striking bout with a dehydrated brain. Like, just think
have you,
about how much your
you
body's
had it,
water.
did you have it done?
What have I ever been dehydrated before?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been dehydrated before. I used to when I was in wrestling. I've gotten down to less than 4% body fat before.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
oh yeah. I used to get in a sauna suit like the sweatsuits. Then I would go get into an actual sauna, and then you just sit in there and sweat like like the only thing you eat for 2 days is fucking ice cubes. I've been in some fucking dark. I've been in some dark places, man.
Really?
The weight cutting I've done, yeah, the weight cutting I've done wasn't healthy when I was younger. Um, and that's why I learned how to take care of myself so much more when I was older because the weight cutting I was doing when we were younger, like you would get like 12 hours or something like no, I would say like 6 hours to rehydrate after weighing in and to like eat. And when you got into that rhythm, you wouldn't eat a bunch because you didn't want to be stuffed. Like I would rather go in to the match hungry and fucking a little bit angry. Like I actually performed better. Like I didn't want to eat a bunch of food before a match. Like I might chug a Gatorade, but if I chug a Gatorade, I'm gonna fucking puke because I'm still gonna get the butterflies before a match. So you don't want to put a bunch of food or liquid in your stomach right afterwards, so you don't rehydrate properly.
Yeah,
It's
because I
a
heard people
weird thing.
straight in the stomach and they just all over throw up.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
That
Especially if you've been empty for fucking 2 days.
that's what makes me wonder, with that. Like, you know,
Well,
I mean,
it's about getting good trainers around you that are making sure you're cutting weight properly. It shouldn't dehydration isn't cutting weight. A good cutting
no,
weight status is changing your diet during fight camp, and you train your diet so that like you're not eating off your diet. You're not when you're out of training camp. That's when you eat whatever the fuck you want. When you get on training camp, that's when they change your diet up. You get a little more strict with it, and you do things towards losing weight because when it comes down to it, it's calories in versus calories out. You start dehydrating yourself and you go in depleted, you're not going to be able to fill that back up before a fight. Like it doesn't matter what you're doing.
right, right, right. So it ain't gonna. No, yeah, you're screwed.
Yeah, you
You're
don't have any energy. Like yeah,
so
you don't have
that
anything stored up.
that happened to you.
Oh yeah, I've had. I mean, I've gotten. There was one time I was working. there was one time I was working in 110-degree weather in the Midwest. I think it was 17, either 17 or 18. And I went into severe dehydration. I've been drinking water and I ate my lunch and everything like that. My kidneys started to fail, and I almost had to start dialysis. Like it got to a point where my whole body was convulsing because it was just like a muscle when it seizes up, like when you're
Right.
having like when you're dehydrated. Yeah, basically my whole body and my internal organs were doing that. So the only way to rehydrate me at that point was to get me on an IV. And so I was in the hospital for like 2 days. Like that was when I reached my actual limit. Like I was at like the point of if I didn't go in there, I could have fucking died. Like I couldn't even throw up because there was nothing in me. Like it was
So, how
weird.
many more fights do you think you're gonna take on?
Um, I'm not really into fighting. It would have to be really like worth it. I would rather do grappling tournaments and stuff like that. I'm not too big into the fighting. I don't. You couldn't pay me enough to want to go get punched in the head by somebody just to prove I'm a better fighter than they are. Like there'd have to be something kind of worth it. Like
I know.
if there was a show to make out of it, or like somebody could make some money, then maybe I would do it. But uh, at the age of at the age of 33, 34, I'm not trying to start fighting. You know what I mean? Like, if you're not in the UFC by 34, you better fucking hang up the hat. You better have a real job planned because that ain't gonna pay the bills. That's for damn sure. I mean, even UFC fighters talk about how they get fucked over in pay just because they're not main carders. You know, they
Dang.
gotta have a regular job. And they're on the top of the world. Look, when it comes to organizations, if you're in the UFC, regardless of if you're on TV, you're in the top organization in the world when it comes to fighting, and you might still have to have a second job.
Yeah.
Like that's some fucked up shit. I mean, when you talk about real training camps, you're talking about you're dishing out 10, 20,000 to go through a fucking training camp to hire those people to get your fucking meals coordinated to for them to train you for 8 months. You're talking about paying people salaries for 8 months that are going to work with you every day. You know,
And it's gonna get
and
annoying.
eventually, oh yeah. When you, especially when you're talking about elite fighters, whether you're talking about boxing, whether you're talking about any sport, the people that are training around them, that have to be around them all the time. That's why it's good to have a gym because then you can have training partners
Yeah,
that you can
Ryan has
hire in to
a
come work
gym.
with you.
Ryan
Yeah,
has his own gym.
yeah. But he
That.
still has to fork over for the coaches.
Oh
Even the
yeah,
coaches
yeah,
get
yeah,
paid. Yeah,
yeah. And he has Derek James training him.
nice. Yeah,
Uh,
he's a pretty well known name.
Bernard, they call him Alien. He's also on his team. He's got Oscar. He's got Oscar. He's got. I mean, but even then, Oscar. That's why I don't know because I think Floyd Mayweather was wanting Ryan on his league. You understand? Um, so it's kind of like, but I was thinking about that. I was like, even though him and Tank and all of them they get along, or they, you know, shook hands and stuff.
Yeah, they're casual.
But there are some real serious tensions in the boxing realm, it seems,
Yeah,
of people that want to just go after, one another and then family. They bring family into it, and
oh yeah,
it's
that shit gets dirty all the time. And some people say even when you're talking shit, like there is a line that you shouldn't cross, but some people don't give a fuck when they're trying to sell a fight. That's what's bad about it. Some people don't really care. Like, there's a lot of motherfuckers out there that really don't give a shit. Like, they know they're the best in the world, and they say, I don't care whose feelings I hurt. Like, I'm not out here to make friends. I'm out here to fight people and get paid for it.
it's an expensive game. Yeah, absolutely, it
Yeah,
does cost money.
definitely is, Con.
Um, Ryan even admitted to that. He was like, it is expensive. He said, I probably lose more money than make, at times.
Yeah.
You definitely do.
But yeah, man, I appreciate you coming on. I'm gonna wrap up anyway. Told you I was getting ready to wrap up. That was 15
Yeah,
minutes ago, but
absolutely. No doubt. Me too, man. I got to get something to eat
it's right
and then
around the 10
head
p.m.
off
mark
to
for
bed.
me.
It's an early morning for me.
What you eating tonight? Anything good on the menu?
It's
What's the
just
plan?
straight vegetables tonight.
There you go. All right, man. Well, hopefully we'll. Well, I know we will. We'll talk again soon, and
Absolutely.
we'll catch up. All right. I'll talk
Absolutely.
to you later, man.
All right, man.
Thanks,
Peace.
Enzo, for being here. Have a good night, guys.
You got it.